Hey Trenton, it's Lee. I thought I'd give you a tour of my Type 34 workshop here and let you know how I'm doing things. This is the inside of the workshop here. I've got a couple of cars under restoration now. This is the bin for the 62, and then I've got a 65 right-hand drive that's got going on. Um, Over here we've got the chassis for both of the models. This is the 62 chassis here, and the motor for it, and then the 65 chassis here, right-hand drive, and the motor for that. The 62 is the one that's the oldest one in the world. It's got a 1200 chassis number, which is first week in November of 61. So this is the engine that Pedro and I built, all stock 62 motor. That's really got some cool parts on it. It's got the fixed head intake. It's got the early rubber wire clips to hold on to the wires. It's got a 4R4 distributor, which was only used in a couple of months of production. It's got the two-piece fuel pump cap that you've got on yours. The oil breather doesn't have a tip on it to join to the air cleaner. That goes down. That was before they developed that. It's got a two-piece oil cooler. You can see the aluminum piece there is attached to the oil cooler, and the tin is different for that. It's got a real early fuel cutoff switch there for the carb. And then if you look back into there, you can see right about there a black instead of a metal pivot for the carb acceleration pump. So it's pretty cool. We've been working a long time on this engine to get it just right, and it's going to go into that 62 once the floor pan gets painted and seat welded. The 65 is a right-hand drive 65 sunroof car, so it has a dual carb motor just like the motor that's in yours. And this was done a couple of years ago, I think, and all stock, all original 65 related stuff, and the right-hand drive chassis to go with it. Then we've got the truck that we restored, a 63 double cab truck that we restored this year. Painted it finally in October. It's light gray, L345 light gray, and this is our shop truck. It wasn't restored to concourse condition, of course. You can see it storing somebody's Type 34 seats here. But really usable, fun truck, all stock panels in it, and super simple interior with the gas gauge, speedo, and radial block-off plate. So really fun truck to have. For shop stuff, we use it for carrying parts and engines and so on. Then we've got the 63 variant, which is one of the earliest variants produced. And this one is a survivor. This one is original paint on about 80% of the car in Gulf Blue. And it was in a garage for about 45 years in Kansas. So this is a pretty cool one. I traded a 68 automatic Type 34 sunroof car to get this. So you can see the interior with the early salt and pepper interior, all the stock parcel tray and so on. Big button glove box, which is a sign of the early cars. Back seat is all original, never been sat in. And then of course you got the rear area back there for the cargo area. So it's a 63. It's pretty cool. It's fun to drive. It's very different than a Type 34, and super rare. I mean, they're rarer than the Type 34s are. The 62 and 63 variants are, there's less than 75 in the world right now. Over here we've got my workbench area where we do all the current assembly, seals and clutches and stuff we're working on now, hinges and starter motors, and then we got a kegerator, old 47 fridge that's converted to a keg, and an old Coke machine, and some more parts, spare parts shelves back there. Old Has It toolkit and a round Type 34 toolkit. All stuff we use. Then, of course, we've got the 62 convertible conversion. This is Ruby. This is chassis number 1776. This one was done about 20 years ago, and it has the upholstery from Pedro's kit that was just made this year. So this is super special. This is that silver cloth with silver beige vinyl. This is why an original interior is so important in a Type 34. It really changes the look of the car. Really brings it up to being really beautiful. So this 62 was restored about 20 years ago, and it's one of my favorites. Then we got a 65 right-hand drive car in cherry red. So this one was restored in, painted in 2009 after about 5 years worth of body work. So this one is a very long-term project. I got it from England in 2004, and it has been in my hands for 16 years so far, and it came all the way back. It was so rusty from the rocker panels down, and now it's got all the right pieces and all the right restoration on the body. All the stuff inside, we have yet to do any assembly work. But right-hand drive is pretty rare. There's about 200 of those. But right-hand drive sunroof car means that there's only about 17 of those worldwide. So super duper rare to find a sunroof car in a right-hand drive format. And so that one's kind of fun. I'm going to be assembling that one after the 62's done. And then last but not least is the treasure chest, which is where I keep a lot of the cool parts that I don't want to get dusty. Got block off plates and cleaning supplies and keychains and emblems and all kinds of cool stuff in here. This is where I try to keep the things that other people might need that I don't need yet, like seat knobs and so on that are really tough to find. Some of the early boots, the French VIN plates, the emblems and locks, and all those things that eventually someone will need. These are the earliest Speedos here. That's a 150 kilometer Speedo in 61 and so on. And this is a 63 Speedo, 90 mile an hour. Then you got the book I made. You got some early fuel pump caps. You got some paint touch-up bottles for all the different Type 34s. The two-piece oil cooler I was telling you about that goes in a 62. And then down below that you got some headlight parts for the European headlights and some Blaupunkt radios with the different knobs and tune-up kits for the single carb motors. So anyway, so that's my workshop. That's what I do in here, and goof around and take care of the cars I've got and try to help other people like Maria get her car and other people's cars cleaned up and into new homes. I'm really happy that you got this car. I think you're really going to love it. I know I do. It would definitely fit in well with my collection, but alas, it's going to Salt Lake City, and I hope you really enjoy it.